Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's Cashflow Digital, where we're joined by these two, well, one lovely gentleman and this monster here.
You're going to make me lovely.
And we are sponsored by odys.cc. The link below. But talking about links, also do check out nfg2021.com for next month's event in person in the US. So check that out if you are interested in going. And hopefully I will still be there as well to beat Brad's ass.
Oh, you will be there. I told you last night I'm making that happen. I told the freaking
Is that why you've been going to church, Craig? To like hope for another like spike for the pandemic or something, so you have to close some shit down.
I can't make it.
Yeah. Take me to church.
But
there's some ways to get in, so
you'll have to limp in.
We'll find a way. I'll be fine for then. That's still like 5-6 weeks away, so there you go. What happened to my foot, Randy? I injured it while training to beat this guy. But it's only a minor setback, nothing to worry about. So yeah, all is good. I don't want anyone thinking
you're still pushing that, doing that bench press nicely. So that's all you need, right? That punching power.
Yeah. To be honest, when I was training against you anyway, I was only doing like a fucking 20-minute sparring session.
I'm surprised you're in there at all. 20 minutes is more than I would have given you. So 20 minutes if you holding on to the bag. Is that what the plan was?
Something like that, man. Yeah. Cuddle it. Get a good cuddle. So yeah.
I can't wait.
But yeah, as I say, I'll beat you just with the jab alone. And
we can go jab versus jab first round. Only thing we can throw is a jab if you want.
Yeah, we can do that. But do you know what? I was going to go all out and say how confident I'm feeling. I'll take the fucking two of you guys in the ring. Fuck it.
Yeah, that way you would have more of an excuse. I mean, you won't really have an excuse when you lose because everyone expects you to lose. But like if you had two guys, I know it's like, well, I would have beat one of them one-on-one, but I had two of them, I see where you're going with it. It's
no. We'll just revert back to me and you, Brad. Yeah. I just think that would make it more of a fair fight if there was two of you.
How about it? If you beat me, then you step up to boss level and you can fight Mike right after.
On the same
night?
We're
saving it for that, dude.
Yeah, right after.
How much do you weigh, Craig?
About 110 kilos.
Dude, I'm American, bro.
Let me look that up.
I don't know what the hell that means to me, dude.
It's like 18 stone of sheer muscle.
Still, yeah.
Still, dude, I weigh myself in pounds, dude.
242.
I don't freaking put stones on a freaking balance and stand on the other side and shit, dude.
Depends on how big
a
stone is.
Caveman, dude.
242, Mike. Yeah.
What's that?
240.
I got 8 pounds on you, homie.
Every time Craig gives me a weight, it goes up a little. Are you just packing on that much muscle?
Yeah.
It's all that water.
I had to convince him that it was okay for him to fight you, dude. He is very concerned about your health, and I think that's nice of him.
He should be, yeah. And I've reassured Craig that we have very nice hospitals in Greensboro, and I'll make sure to have his room ready for him.
I told him I'm bringing a gun, and he's going to throw the damn fight no matter what, dude.
yeah, you're the bookie. You can do what you want.
I want to make that money.
Ken Diamond knows what it's all about. Glasgow rules. It's a pub fight.
There we go.
That gets dirty, though.
Knuckle? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm all out to get dirty, man. Fuck it.
I saw a guy get his throat slit with a beer bottle, dude, when I was 17 years old.
You remember Razorblade in Minnesota? I don't like
that dude was nuts, bro. Dude, I was out alone with that dude, and I'm like,
he's probably honestly watching. He's watching us right now. Dude had a tattoo of a Razorblade.
He's on the news for getting arrested because the police tried to take his goat and he attacked the police officer.
I remember that. He's a big dude too.
Fuck that shit, man.
Nick's trying to make it out. Santa.
I had a couple questions. Like people came to me, they're like, "Well, I have these sites that I bought, and they're starting to go down. They're starting to tank." And they were talking about Otis, and it's interesting. So I started looking at their domains, and I have one that I have aged nicely and let them and done their content, and their content has been doing extremely well through these updates. Everything that came after like the High Keras update that like came in May before all these updates like after that. So they've been doing extremely well. And what I noticed was everyone that had started to like tank off, what I started to see is the way that they were doing their content after the fact. They just had some gains that essentially Google reset. And it's the kind of stuff we've been talking about on the webinars and what's going on in September at NFG 2021. And so it still is, man. It shocks me how many people are having issues right now with their SEO because of this. TF is that, TF is this. So I think the biggest tip I can give people that are having issues, that have been like seeing gains before June and then they lost all those gains, they're back down to where they were and not lower. You need to reevaluate your, like I would say, first start reevaluating the way you're linking your structure, your context groups together, man. I think that's what I'm seeing the most issue. And then of course, with like the last few weeks, I've seen people just losing power in their backlink profile. But so have you had gains, losses staying the same right now, guys, or what?
For me personally, my stuff's been fairly steady. Nothing major has taken any kind of crazy tumble. I have seen other people who've came to me and I have seen like dropping 10,000 keywords and shit like that. Yeah. So I've seen it with other people, but personally, not in the niches that I operate in. What about you, Brad?
No, I mean, a lot of mine is local because of the PPL stuff, and that you're always going to have flux there depending on the season. So I've got that general flux, but aside, I mean, as far as pure rankings go, I always like to look at revenue anyway. So it's always going to be slightly up and down, but we diversify as much as possible to avoid that. But as far as rankings go, they're looking solid. So, I mean, but you know, I work with Mike primarily. So Mike and I took over a hair care product, and I've got it in just Ahrefs. It just pops up every time I'm, log in there, and I see it, and like we're way up from that, from just linking.
Yeah, dude. It's what's interesting is we had like this period of like in search, not us, but so like before, I would say this is like what the update that they didn't announce.
Who's he talking to?
I'm talking in my window, bro. So listen, I don't want to look in your eyes. You scare me, dude.
Look at my forehead.
But basically, there's an update rolling out right now that they didn't announce. Essentially, is what's going on.
Always
it happens constantly, but there's a lot of volatility right now. But before this, we had like this period of like stability that I never see. It was like 7-8% in the SERPs was the volatility. It was nuts, dude. It was just like a smooth sailing. But what I did start to see, like over the weekend, a lot of people started losing like 50 positions or more on like their high volume keywords. So I think we'll start to see more and more of that discussion here soon. At least on Webmaster World, we'll see that thread kind of grow up. But it's been interesting. They really are moving super quickly, and they're doing some pretty interesting shit, dude. I'm excited for what's coming with this because they've really opened up opportunity for like automated processes, which we love. You know, they just made that so much easier for us with all these updates. So I think that a lot of the people that are having problems right now are people that have kind of taken to heart a lot of what Google says. And thank you, man. I appreciate that. I am great. Thank you. That's it. I'm done. I'm leaving now. Mike's on.
Quit while you're ahead.
Yeah,
as soon as you leave, he's like, Mike, you suck.
Yeah. Would you start a mini network with a set of niche relevant brand new domain, blog comment to build some authority opinion? So yeah, I would absolutely use new domains if I needed to use new domains. I think right now a lot of people are going to be more benefited by new domains than grabbing something that they're going to break that's expired if they don't know what they're doing. What are your guys' thoughts on the new domain thing? And then we'll go on to the comments.
I think with expired, it can be hit or miss depending on what suckers had it before you and stuff like that. You know, if you want to build a mini net as an asset, and you don't want any kind of, people having burnt it before or anything like that, then you can 100% start with, some new domain names. You always want to try and leverage something. If you can get an age domain or something else, that's something I would always like to open people's eyes to, just to get a bit of an advantage, because who the hell wants to build a brand new domain name right from the get-go, if you can avoid it? So it's hard to say. I get why you would say yes, it's a good thing to do if you don't want to utilize other expired domain names and take over someone else's spam. So it's really down to you personally.
One of the things there I'm seeing is that people are not restoring properly, and that there's data all over that it's just been showing for a long time, for a year and a half, that you will lose some of your power in their eyes if you do things too quickly. If you screw certain things up, you might never know you've done it. There's just certain stages and certain ways to use it. Just like taking an expired domain, rebuilding the content, letting it sit there until those pages get back into the SERPs and a visibility somewhere of like 50 to 100, and then 301ing those 1-to-1 is more beneficial than just buying the domain and 301ing it directly to the website, right? And so I think that a lot of it's not that don't use it. The reason I said new domains, I think there's a set of people out there that are going to do better with a new domain than going and taking something that's been existing, because they don't understand what they should be doing right now with their content and things. That's the only reason I said it. I do want to use expired domains, to be very clear.
Also,
not saying no.
You can honestly use both. What I would do is, if you've been in NFG, I would set it up the way that insurance network is set up. So if I'm going to do brand new domains, I'm going to buy at least, I would say bare minimum of 5, but I would recommend 10 new domains. I would probably go EMD. I would make it in a niche that I know I can dominate locally. I'm going to build each one with the relevant shit. You could just get Quillbot content on there. I'm going to set them all up on different IPs, because if it's a network, they need to be on different IPs. So you can cross-link. So cross-link, get the entity built to each one of them, and then come in with your expired, your Otis domains, everything else, and use that to push your primary money site, as well as the network, as well as the entities, and you're just going to have rankings all over the place. And that's how you take over local. If you know
what's interesting, Brad and I were talking about this today, Craig, and I'm really looking forward to the workshop day in October, in the September event, because we have come up with a process that allows the networks to actually emulate the traffic journey of the websites that are top rankers there. So utilizing the network to create the inflow and outflow that enhances the way that those sites are grouped together. And so it utilizes the SEMrush data. Like their clickstream data right now is like one of my favorite things. Like I think it's great for link building. I think it's great for everything. Like if you're not, I really do mean it. Like people need to be in their traffic journey section. They need to be looking at that shit and using those tools, because you leave shit on the table if you're not using it. It's a great freaking tool set, man. And with it, you really can build some networks that are just enhanced with all the new data that they're using to rank websites in different markets, man. I mean, we need to be giving them everything they want, and utilizing those kind of flows in our networks is the way we can do that. So I'm looking forward to everyone getting there, doing that, and implementing it on that day, man. So we're gonna fly you out to the Caribbean and make you be there, dude, because it's gonna be a good day, dude. It's gonna be fun.
Dominican is nice.
The blog comment post to build some authority. I would absolutely look at forums and blog comment and blogs and be in those where it makes sense. I'm not saying for your first step, go out and buy. And this kind of ties into a question that I got right before this, which was it was about shit. I'm gonna lose it. I can't. That sucks. So the blog comments essentially look for the traffic, look for the top rankers, and if that question comes back, I have it written down somewhere. I'll bring it back up. But I would say this is one way to go. And it was a free question. Okay, how do I build backlinks for free, right? And this is one that I would recommend. I've got a network. I was looking, I was updating it because it's one of the ones that hasn't been updated for like 7 years. and it took probably like a 20 to 30% hit in the last month or two. So I'm looking at updating one of these survival networks I have. And like, I was analyzing my best backlinks, dude, in that network, because there's thousands of them, over years. And a lot of them are coming from forums and other blogs where I have participated in, right? Like where I've actually, started a thread or replied to a thread strategically so that I'm bringing in the right traffic. And those threads are ranking, these are all ranking, and they're all pulling traffic. So you can see the traffic flow from, Google to the post to my website, and, back somewhere else. Like, this is all there. And that's one way to use the blog comments that were asked here. What are your guys' thoughts on this here?
I mean, I've said it before. I get slaughtered for it elsewhere, saying that, blog comments are still part of
they work.
Of course they work, and you've got to start somewhere, and there's a place for pretty much most things. So, I would always be looking to, when starting out, utilize blog comments. If you understand, as Mike has said many times, if you understand how the internet works, then you will be utilizing blog comments, build some authority, and then build out from there. I'm not going to sit here and say blog comments are going to build you amazing authority or anything like that, but you want to diversify that stuff up, man.
Also, more is not better. Better is better. So I would rather have a handful of comments the way that Mike is talking about, rather than I'm just going to go to Fiverr and order these. I'm going to get 100. I'm going to spread it over these 5 links. So each one's getting 20 links, and that should do me.
Yeah. I want to point
just don't do that.
And Google recently, what was it? I got to find exactly what the wording is. They just changed requirements on some schema, and they changed some things about author. They suggested, this is what it is. They suggested adding an author URL to your content or your markup, essentially, right? And that means they want you to point somewhere. And one thing you can do here is, we've done a lot of testing over the years with grouping sites together through like an article, and then those sites commenting in the blog section using a platform that Google, back when the Data Hub was around, it was, what's that blog commenting? Discuss, yeah, DISQS, right? And we have seen data that pulls everything up at one time with Discuss, where if you're commenting on the page and your sites are associated, it will pull all of those sites up for the same query in some cases. And so if you know your market, and when we go over like the personas in September, like that part of the SEO process, and when we lay that out, you'll start to see how you can utilize blogs and forums and these kind of platforms to really build a strong author like persona. And you could have one forum that you focus on, and that's where you're coming out commenting on, and you can create these flows that Google can recognize, and now it can associate with your markup to your web page, right? So you can start to, like, this is one way you can use that to start to create the entity around each of your sites in the mini net, or if you're doing traditional SEO just for your one website. The other update I wanted to mention about Schema is that they got rid of they don't need the @ID for the business anymore. They now have announced that they can do it just with the URL. And I wanted to point that out because with all the updates we're seeing, they really do understand things a lot better. So it comes down to, like, when we talk about eat again, like blog comments, if they're starting to really understand things right now. And so this kind of thing can be very powerful if you do it properly. You don't waste the time. Make sure you're not wasting time. Set it up so that it's smooth, and just don't go out and build a ton of them, and do what you need to do and then move on,
Yeah. We also have a question from Conscious Eating. Started a new site, so it ties in with the other guy who was starting out with new websites. In the first month, he's got 83 clicks and 5,300 impressions. Do you think this is good? The site had a lot of links pointing to the subdomain, and he's redirected it to the main domain. So for anyone out there, Mike, it's asking, is that good? What do you reckon? If Brad was to fire up a new website and that was your clicks and impressions, would that be good or bad?
It depends, I think.
The visibility, unless you're link building, the visibility usually, the clicks usually follow the visibility. Unless you're link building, then it's the opposite usually. But Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know the market. I don't know anything. Is that 83 clicks out of the total market is 5,000, 300, or like how big's the market?
I think that's the search impressions. Yeah, that's what I would ask. Are you making money from it? Is it generating?
Oh, that's not. I thought that was visibility on the site. I see. I thought that was CTR. Okay, I got you.
I mean, I would say it's going in the right direction for sure.
I mean, I wouldn't complain about it. You know,
just keep going, and as long as that number continually goes up, then you're solid. You know, just keep taking over. So that is better than 0 clicks for sure.
And you know, you don't go ahead, Craig. Sorry.
I was going to say that's normally what Brad gets.
0 clicks. Yeah. 0 clicks. 0 upvotes.
Do you think it's good? It's kind of relative. It really is, man. I think that if you're making money, can you convert it? Then yeah, you're starting to gather data. It's good, right?
If I'm starting a rehab campaign, I get 83 clicks and 5 calls off of that. That's fucking badass.
That's good.
I'll take it. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Nah, I agree with you guys. It just depends. It depends. Next question, Christina. Is changing the dates of most blog posts, does that affect their performance somehow? There was an issue and most of them have the same date. So dates changing on your blog post, does it have any impact at all in your guys' opinion?
I don't think
I mean, you do want to have your dates proper for like when they come and see if you're going to be included into Google News, right? I mean, the requirements aren't like they used to be, but you do want to make sure you have this all set up properly. They do store data, but they store data and they'll know when that page went up and when they first saw it. And there's some indication in a lot of spots that they are using some of this here right now, but I'm not paying that much attention to it. I would just make sure you have it properly set up.
Yeah.
It's worth fixing. Let's look at the next comment again really quickly. Right below her, like right there. From Shubo.
No, we can't. I can't get that working.
You can't look at the. That's on a different platform. That's why, huh?
I'm only kidding.
There we go. That's it.
Fucking April Fools here today.
I just wanted to look at that again. You got me, bro.
Michael Likens. Last week, 2 of you mentioned that you hired a sales guy first. I have one lined up, but was curious how you set them up for success.
I usually tell them that I'm going to find where they live if they don't do a good job.
My face in general says that, so I don't have to say it.
No, go ahead.
For me,
no, I mean honestly, they're going to have to job shadow for a little bit with you. It's going to be hard for a non-SEO to start selling SEO right off the bat. So they're going to have to kind of break it down as much as possible. You want your services, your products to be as black and white as possible. Okay, here's what you get. Here's what you get month 1, month 2, month 3. If we're not seeing a big enough push, if the market's not responding like we want, we're going to do X, Y, and Z at that point, and then just have them continually stay in contact with the client to keep them happy, because that's what they want,
On top of that, though, assuming that this guy is trained up and everything else, I failed miserably as I had my first sales guy on a salary and there was no real other financial incentive for him to do well. I think you need to make it incentive based, because people get lazy. Now, whether that's giving them shares in the company, a commission, or, for each sale or whatever, you have to keep good salespeople hungry. Their earnings usually, regardless of whether it's the SEO industry or whatever, are normally unlimited. Their earnings are unlimited. So if they work like a dog selling the shit out of your stuff, they need to be incentivized for it. So make sure you don't, like me. I basically had them on a good salary and they got lazy. They need to be pushed and they need to be self-motivated. So
I'd much rather have them on a commission base rather than salary. I'd rather, if you can get them in the door for no salary and all commission based, then that's preferable. If you're giving them 30% or whatever.
We've done it. And when we were hiring multiple salespeople for different agencies, it was a very, we had somebody that was in charge of that. That was actually a partner, right? And that was a very good salesperson as well. They also a good SEO. So we were blessed with, you know, that's at that level. Like I would love, if I'm going to build something large like that, I am going to do it with somebody that specializes in that part of the business, and I'm going to have them help us grow it. It's not like I would go there and get that guy before you, if you can, before you start building everyone else underneath it, because that one's going to help you structure it a little bit better. And he'll understand like the specifics of the sale for the SEO that you're doing. Because honestly, like the way we do SEO is different than other people. And I'm sure the way you do SEO, Michael, is different than some people, right? Maybe not. Maybe you just go around and do it like everyone else. Michael, I know you.
Which is fine for local, maybe even
works.
some national clients, you know? So, but yeah, you're going to have to kind of do some hand holding in the beginning. Get a decent script for him, come up with as many rebuttals off, you know, before you get him on a call, write down any that you come up with, and just having the sales process. And when we were working with the guy that Mike was talking about, he had a sales process in place. You know, he would get them, you know, hey there from wherever he was, and you know, so they could see his face, and then he would go into the presentation. So just having that process, and it's better if at all possible to have them in the same office as you, because that's where that agency kind of broke down. Was we had, you know, salespeople on one coast, and the dude's trying to train them from the other coast.
You know, we got people in one country, we got a physical location there with everyone, all the text, and physical location with the, you know, salespeople, and that becomes harder, and it kind of
there was a disconnect,
So there are things I would pay attention to there for sure with that. The next one about the audits here, I'm gonna read it first, but were you doing free SEO audit scores or audits? How are they selling for you? Like what info I prefer to sell a product, like a one-off product, rather than give something away. Like I would like to sell a content plan, right, or whatever, and then bid it and have a right of first refusal or something, or first bid rights on that project, because I'm going to be able to tailor that so that I know that I can provide the best service, and no matter who they go out and they start to try to get bids from, I know I have an edge on everyone or whatever, and that's how I'm going to tailor that. So I'm going to engineer that from the beginning. Personally, that's what I would do. What do you guys think, Craig?
I mean, I know from experience, you know, like Gary Wilson, for example, was given his link audit away, and I know that that's worked really, really well and converted really well. It depends on what you're trying to sell. You know, sometimes I think free brings in the wrong type of people as well. So if you're doing free audits, you're going to have every Tom, Dick, and Harry going through you at volume and absolutely hammering you, and you might convert very little, and you might miss a guy. You might even miss out on some of them because of sheer volume. So I think what you're saying, Mike, would probably be best suited to do it. But it's, if you're good at SEO and all that kind of stuff, you know, just showing people case studies and stuff.
It
works. I don't think you have to give away anything for free. No one's looking for anything for free, and probably doesn't value anything that's free either.
The one thing I had a campaign once before, like this is probably whenever they, I think it was 2008 or 9, maybe 10, I don't know. But it was when everyone started talking about like canonical issues like dub versus non-dub. So when they started making changes, and they really were not, now they were, you know, separating these as two different subdomains. They were separated as domains. It's kind of right after they stopped treating a subdomain just like an external domain, like when we lost all the fun ability to play with wildcards and shit. But yeah, and that campaign, I did a mass mailing campaign where I did a scrape of like who didn't have that redirect set up properly. And I just hit everyone and their mother with that free info. Hey, this is not set up correctly, and this is how you do it, and made that connection between them and gave them that. But that didn't take any effort, right? I wouldn't want to sit down as an individual doing a solo job saying, you know, I'm going to give you a free audit, right? I would definitely take money for that kind of work, for sure.
Especially if you want it to be of reasonable substance. You can't just...
You could do a nonsense one, I guess, yeah. And you can throw it just into a tool and send that report. But this is a cool one, because there's actually something that... so My question, can I include affiliate link to my landing page and do I promote? So asking about affiliate links on your landing page. John Mueller recently said that we don't care how many affiliate links you have if you have a quality content and you have a good website. They don't care as long as you're quality, right? That's just what you want to do. You want to be quality. And I'm not saying that they're telling the truth or whatnot, because that's an indicator. Like they'll look at different factors if you're an affiliate, and they'll treat you differently for sure, because it's a different site than an e-commerce or a local site. And they will make decisions based on your site in and of itself. So yes, you absolutely can include affiliate links on your webpage without issue. Just don't have a shitty webpage, you know?
There you go.
Yep. Viral Clout said bomb drop. Jordan Pierce is saying a lot of his local pages are ranking the blog comments, average of 7 to 10 on each hub. So there you go. Proof's in the pudding. Whoops.
Pudding's good.
A big question, which Mike's face. So he has a local site that hasn't been updated in years. Most pages have 300 to 500 words. I'm updating the content with Suffer, and most pages will have 2K plus words on them each. Service has around 5 supporting articles. So there's a lot of content. My question is, should I update a page at a time or all at once? How would you do the internal interlinking of the site? To which pages would you build links to? And what else would you do that I haven't mentioned? Thanks in advance.
Dude, you have the right questions, man. That's a lot, bro.
Yeah.
That's a lot, dude. No, it's actually something that we get all the time, and we're constantly working with people. Like someone that I know is implementing the system and the process that we're doing at the event this year, and they've been got hit with these 25% updates, losing their traffic on down, and they're on their way back up after like 3 or 4 days of implementation. And honestly, the internal linking, you absolutely want to be grouping properly, and properly really does depend on your campaign and what you're doing for your marketing and what you're trying to convert. Like, it really does. Your technical decisions for SEO are influenced by what you know about who you're selling to. And so I would make sure that when you start interlinking this, that you pay a lot of attention to what supports the piece you're linking to from multiple angles. Like, you need to like point the internal links from the right places. And that's going to be a big part of what you do right now with this update.
Would you still suggest a site search method?
Yes, but I do a much more advanced query than just the simple. The simple query is site and then the keyword. That's a simple query that can get you like to the point where people are losing like 25 to 50% of their traffic instead of 75 or more. If you go further than that, then you absolutely will start to do a better job just by doing it by hand, for sure. Yeah. Adding in things to those queries that support that, maybe it might be a good idea. So if I'm promoting woodworking, and I'm doing content about like a new router, or I do a piece of content on a router for beginning woodworkers, I might be looking for a page on my site about a respirator. Because a beginning woodworker needs to know that they need to have a freaking respirator on instead of reading that stuff, right? That might become a good support depending on how I have my content structured and how I'm trying to sell, right? If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So would you use Cognitive to at least getting starting point for the supporting articles?
I
know you're a big Keyword Cupid.
No, yeah, Keyword Cupid. That's not where I'd go for this. I would go for this after I have my data in there. That's how I would go over to that in the process. Where I would start, like what I'm doing right now, is a process that anywhere where you can break down the topics. There's an API I'm using right now, and you can use it. You can go out there and drop it into TextRaiser, the free demo, and find the related entities right there. It's free if you don't want to pay for anything, and it'll pull out all the related entities and give you a list of like the topics. So like if you drop say you're dropping an article about woodworking for beginners in there, you'll see like you want to get a score of like 1 for the entity of woodworking, but then you'll have like CBD. You'll have like
never do CBD while you're woodworking.
You'll have like drill bits. You'll have like drills. You'll have drill press. Like these type of entities will come up. So you can use anything that breaks down a piece of content into entities. Can give you an idea of what to look for on your website to link from.
Also, the one other thing on there that the guy asked that I just want to highlight because it's quite a good one is you don't have to update all your pages at one time or one at a time. Do them in clusters if you like. Do whatever you want. There is no real
chip away
wrong method, but I would be chipping. Yeah, like what you
said. Absolutely. And honestly, I would go to Keyword Cupid and take. There's a process that I would use here with Keyword Cupid to reanalyze the website for sure. Hey, what's up, dude?
Is Chase officially the backup? If
Chase, are you gonna box Brad, dude?
Yeah, if Craig can't make it.
Man.
He'll be calling Sleepy Joe saying, "Open the borders, open the borders, open the borders."
I'm trying to get Chase there, dude. I keep harassing him, and I need to call him. So
bring your cat.
I might not be able to make it purely because of COVID. Nothing to do with being scared of Brad. Just so I got that clear.
He can make it. He can make it if he wants to. We know how to get him in.
Start swimming.
So I'm supposed to. He's asking do what? So I'm supposed to be boxing Brad at the NFG event next month, and I'm not laughing at that. I'm just laughing at this comment as well. This one here. That's just popped up. But anyway, forget about that. We'll come back to that in a minute. So I'm supposed to be boxing Brad, beating his ass in a ring at the event, just like, after the event or whatever. And
but he broke his toe in training, so we just don't know what the real truth is here, dude.
He was boxing in flip-flops or something,
So I need a big, handsome guy that wears a sexy shirt like that to go and fucking beat his ass, especially with that shirt on. That would be fun.
Bring the cat.
Unbuttoned, yeah. The cat's in his corner. Cat corner. It's either Chase or it might have to be Dirty Juice, Mike. And
Dirty Juice, dude.
He has more experience than Craig, and he trains with all those UFC people. So it's not going to be Mario, though. I don't want to get an ass.
No, Mario would fuck you up, dude.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Sorry for the language. Back to the Facebook user there. Which pages would you link? What else would you do that I haven't mentioned? I really would look at what pages you can just like you want 301 somewhere, and then what you can just soft off and drop.
Yeah, if you need to combine, yeah.
There's times like when you're doing this, like you should be really looking at it from like a current SEO standpoint, and some of your pages might be better off as 404s, right? So there just is reasons to do different things, different directives, and different strategies. So you want to go through it and really make a decision on what is needed and what you should do. The 300 to 500 words, don't care what the length is. Like, it doesn't matter what the length is. You just want to make sure you're doing it properly. You just want to have the right amount of content. What's that?
I said that's what she told you.
She wants the girth, bro. Not the length.
It doesn't matter what the length is as long as you're doing it properly. That's what you're saying.
No, it's
that beaver tail.
It's not properly.
Yeah. Anyway, we have BK SEO. Is visibility in the SERPs 10 times, but for a bunch of irrelevant terms. What's your thoughts on that? Is that
That's
just
where we start? Yeah,
keyword exclusion. Yeah, that would be. Yeah.
If it's irrelevant stuff, you don't want it in there, and you want to get rid of it. So you want to do the kind of the same process we're talking about with updating the content before. You basically want to make sure that you're not talking about the wrong thing. And it's been a topic we've been talking about lately because I don't think enough people understand like exclusion in SEO. Like, you need to pay attention to your exclusions and your blacklist quite a bit. So thank you, dude.
So back to this one here. John Mueller or Mueller is a lying Google dog.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, none of them are trustworthy, dude. You got to read between the lines, and you got to have data.
Corporate.
He's not. I can't say he's lying because I don't know him.
Can you sit up higher, Mike? You look like the dude from Home Improvement. Yeah, Wilson.
Eric McDonald's rankings are dropping from 5 to 45, then up to 5 again, shown in SEMrush. Is this part of the Google update?
Have you been working on said keyword or said page? It could be just some bounce. It could be because of the perpetual. There's always, I always feel like at the moment, if someone asks if there's an update rolling out, I just say yes, because odds are they're perpetual.
There's been a lot of recovery for people that got hit in June with whatever they're doing that started like around the 6th this month, like somewhere around there when the business.
It's like what I'm going to do to Craig.
The volatility started going back up. Yeah, you always want to be in. You need to absolutely be inside of your console, and you need to be looking at it from a grouping and a cannibalization standpoint. So you want to be in there all the time. And there's a lot going on right now, man. They're barely like finishing rapid. I think they're still rolling the kind of changes they've rolled out worldwide for the lead spam update stuff. And they are absolutely doing something right now that is, some people are getting worse from June. Some people are getting better, right? So like seeing a lot of data with people hit in June that are being affected like right now over the last 4 days.
So Eric is working. There's no penalties. He is working on.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's just
most likely.
Hopefully, it settles at the top.
Bro, I'll dance off with you, dude.
Yeah, we can go to. There's a place downtown, Boxcar. They've got like all the old school games. I'm sure they have a dance off place there. They've got like the arcade games and shit, and you just buy a bunch of beer, drink it.
New Jersey night out, dude. We'll all spike our hair and wear some gold chains, bro. Pop our collars.
I mean, I'll have a nice big piece of jewelry after I beat Craig's ass, you know. So I'll have to be walking around looking like The Rock or something.
But Chase, if you were to fight, it would be this dude here.
Easy money.
Relatively easy.
I'm trying to get Chase to come speak with us, but I haven't asked him yet, so I'm putting him on the spot right here, dude. Now if he doesn't come, you know he doesn't like me at all.
Chase. We know he doesn't like you. He's told everyone.
I don't blame him, dude.
I don't know why that's a question.
But going back to questions, Kahuna, how do I build links to my site after the link spam update? Will Web 2.0's profile links, guest posts, and link inserts still work as usual?
Yeah, they will. But don't do them as your, like, this is one thing I keep saying. Don't focus as those as your tier 1 link profile. It's not worth wasting money on your tier 1 link profile on mass of that. Put it lower back.
Wouldn't be the same show without this man.
Especially near the end. Well, it's not close enough to the end yet.
Yeah, they've been looking for those Vietnamese phone farms, dude.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to find.
They keep looking for the Vietnamese phone farm keyword keyframe spam.
He is saying that there's a lot of big YouTube updates happening as well. Yeah. Cash cow channels have been milking the system for too long.
You know what's insane to me is the shit that my kids watch. How much money they can freaking make.
Oh, dude, the like opening of the toys crap, dude, that my son was like.
That's where it all started. It starts there. They get hooked with that, with Ryan and all of them. And then they move to Ninja Kids and like HGTV or whatever. And they've all got their shit in Target. And every time it comes up, can we go get that at Target? No, I'm not monetizing, like helping them monetize any more than you watching that same video 50 times. You know, I looked at one, it's Sonic. A plush toy eating French fries like that. The dude, all you can see is the guy's hand. So the camera's like, I was like, how many views does this have? So I paused it and it was like 4.3 million. I'm like, Jesus Christ, we're in the wrong niche. But be careful, Craig. I don't want you to hurt your other toe.
We don't need to give you more excuses.
Yeah.
I'm going to make the
2 boots.
I'm going to make the assumption that Chase has just said yes to speaking at the event.
Either that or a dance off. It was either.
Yeah, it could have been the dance off, dude.
I think it was the dance off.
Screw that! I'm coming to dance, baby.
Yeah, fuck SEO.
Chase, you're going to Greensboro. That's it, confirmed. Chase is going to be there.
I'll put him on the lander. If you don't want me to make up a description for you, Chase, then you better send me one because I
want to ride it.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna go over to I don't know. I'm trying to think of a gay porn website right now, but I can't think of one right now.
Speaking of gay porn, I was watching a good documentary.
I bet you were, dude. Speaking of gay porn, I was watching a good video.
Created by Ryan Murphy, who I think is the American Horror Story guy. It was all about gay conversion camps. It was really interesting. I was watching it while I was eating lunch. It's on Netflix. Check it out, Mike. You went to one, so.
Which one is? What did you say? I was reading Chase's comments. Sorry, dude.
Hang on.
I got distracted. There was another squirrel outside, bro.
You were talking to him. That's who you were talking to earlier.
He talks to me, dude.
Yeah. What kind of peyote do you take before the show?
Yeah, no doubt, dude. Thanks. Roommate sells mattresses, so the same office. What? The free SEO. I like Michael. I like talking to Michael because he sees the same squirrels I do. The free SEO score is like a 20-minute overview that I can shoot a loom to while showing them Ahrefs traffic value versus competition to not too heavy. I wonder what Corey's doing with his video stuff right now, because that sounds like some of the stuff that he was doing at one point, but I think he cut it because it ended up, cutting it because it was not as effective as certain things that he's doing. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure there, dude.
I've honestly got a whole funnel for local mapped out that would just kill it if anyone wants to sell it with me. I just don't want to work on it alone. It's called Pray Away, Mike. Pray Away.
Pray Away.
Pray Away.
All right, I will. You mean like a group buy tool?
I would assume so.
Deck 11.
I don't know.
Just buy them yourself, man.
Yeah, I just buy them. I don't know.
Yeah, that shit always gets caught out.
It's not that I don't care. I don't care if people do it. It's just a pain in the ass if you're group buying and you can't get in there and you're relying on it.
Yeah.
Do it with a few people that you trust, like 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and then just split the cost of it.
Yeah. I think
gas or cash.
But Chase is saying he doesn't think he would have anything to say that would be good. But if
cover automation. I see all that the TikTok shit you post. Yeah, show us how to mine for Ethereum. We'll just start all mining for Ethereum and say fuck SEO.
Yield farming.
Yeah. So
can you get it out for my new
Shine Ranker? Yeah, go check it out. I'm sure it's good. What's it do, Chase? You want to come on next week?
Right now. I'm just going to enter a URL, dude.
Chase, do you want to come on and we can grill you on this shit next week?
Yeah.
I'm just going to put a link.
Show details. It's quick and move fast. Nice, dude. Oh, that's solid, dude. I mean, I gave it a redirect, so it's not getting a lot of data, but I like what it's pulling out.
So Chase is saying it helps you rank things, and Chase is up for next week.
Important.
Chase.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's a nice little breakdown, though, too, right there. If that's quick, though, that's a solid. We should bring him on and talk about it or something. Because honestly,
we just said we are next week, Mike.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I might not be able to make it. I might be at the beach. I'll try and get
away. That's okay.
Computer or something.
We're replacing you with Chase, anyways.
He's prettier. So
yeah, he is much prettier than you, and he's taller, dude. I'm sure because you're pretty short.
Mm-hmm. I'm like a caveman, angry little caveman.
You are, dude.
Elements found. I'm just checking Chase's tool out here, man.
I'm checking his tool out too.
Go on. Nice. Mike is a girth queen, so
I'm a girth queen.
That's a compliment. What this tool needs, more girth. We're getting down a rabbit hole.
Eric, you want to read it or you want me to, Craig?
You could go either way, Eric. You could.
Like Brad.
I know a lot. Yes, exactly. Craig is going to go one way to the canvas. Anyway, I digress.
Craig's 10 ply, or 12 ply, baby.
Yeah. So call me Mr. Sandman because I'm putting people to sleep. But We know a lot of people who suggest starting with paid. I know Corey's mentioned it on the Thursday show quite a bit. You start with paid, you know what converts, you know where the traffic actually is, and then you use that to build out your SEO campaign. Now, you would need to do some initial keyword research if you don't already know the niche. So put that work in, start a paid campaign, get the data there, and then go after what works. I mean, we did that with our payday client. We did like, what was it? Payday loans, no bank account, payday loans, whatever, plus city, state. And it said it got no search volume. But we were pulling in leads like
no,
crazy.
yeah, you'll rank your site. You'll rank your site
That
for
too.
like long tail all day when you run paid. You should be running it like, and it's funny because Corey will be talking about like specifically AdWords at the event and how it ties directly into like the ranking process and how we're using different aspects of like paid mentality. Like if you don't have a paid mentality for like PPC or media buying like in Facebook, then you're probably not starting your SEO properly. And because they very much tie hand in hand, and even more so like over the last 3 or 4 weeks, I have seen as much on one site as much as 90% visibility loss when their paid traffic stopped. I'm talking about their rankings going down. I've seen the ranges from 30 to 90% over the last 6 months. Like these types of things directly affect your ranking. And so when you start optimizing like a paid marketer for your paid campaigns, you're now treating your SEO like you should be treating your SEO, meaning you're doing this based on conversion and you're doing the right shit there and making money. Your SEO will follow suit and do better because you're doing that. So the best type of ad for e-commerce conversion is not one I can answer because it's not my thing.
I would talk to Corey and Ted at the event, because I know Ted, unbeknownst to a lot of people until last year or something, huge into e-com.
Ted's got a lot of similar processes as us with e-com, dude.
Yeah,
and it's pretty
Ted
sick, dude.
Worked with the company and just made it a fucking game. I'm going to take all 10 spots on all these different, search strings. So, and he did. It's crazy. So yeah. Ted's e-com ninja. Corey, I know, does a lot of PPC for e-com. So yeah, he'd be a good resource as well.
You also want to make sure that because what works for one person doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you. Test what type of ads work for you specifically. Different location, different country. We don't even know where you're from, Eric. So try and test different types of ads. That's the thing with AdWords. If you get the formula right, then it's a case of turning the screw on what works the best and get that positive ROI. So test as well. Don't be scared to test. Don't just go for what other people say works best. Try other stuff out. Here's an example. I used to work with a big kitchen company years ago, and the best type of ad or what worked best in terms of paid was the retargeting, because people don't instantly buy a kitchen. They go away, look at their, talk to their wife and their cousin and 10 other people along.
Sometimes their wife and their cousin is the same person, depending on where you are.
What's funny is you say that, but we've been working on, Corey and I've been talking about, and I've been using. There's a lot you can do with like different contextual networks or retargeting networks that are very good, again, for the SEO standpoint, and that traffic and those links that are being purchased over there are literally image links, basically, when you buy an ad, right? And so there's a lot to think about here in SEO. And as it grows and the algorithms get better in Google, it's really important to embrace it all as one thing, like you're saying. But specifically in the markets, like you're saying, Craig,
we knew someone. His silver bullet for SEO, like his atom bomb for SEO, was purchasing a front page Yahoo ad, and it was just an image link. It was $10,000 a month or something like that, and he would buy that and rank for like.
You rank that. This has been for years.
Cheap car insurance.
7 years ago, buying a single freaking link off of Yahoo,
he would do that and Web 2.0s and rank for cheap car insurance.
Well, and then everyone goes, why is the Web 2.0 working differently for him than everyone else? They never saw the damn image link from Yahoo.
Yeah, exactly. It was fucking hilarious. But funny story about PPC. When I first started SEO, trying to figure shit out. I was all into e-com because that's how I got started. So I went on, was it Worldwide Brands or whatever, that site where you could find drop shippers and stuff. And there you go. Is that your e-com guy?
That's my e-com guy.
Nice. E-com VA. So I found a guy selling, he was manufacturing diesel generators, diesel pressure washers, and diesel something else. So I made an ad for each of those, sent it to my e-com site while I was ranking it. So I had it, I knew I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. So I'm sure I was way, way overpaying for these ads. So I would pay $100 worth of ads and then sell something and make $350. I was like, oh, sweet. So I'd get like one of those a week. So I was like, yeah, this is cash flow, it's fucking pumped, until he couldn't keep up with, he's like, how the fuck are you selling so many generators? I'm like, I'm only selling like one a week. He's like, yeah, that's more than we usually sell. I'm like, well, so I had to stop. Let's see it, Eric. Put your money where your mouth is. Let's do it.
The Brad's used to telling dudes that.
Yes.
But
I put my mouth where my money is. Wait, that's not right.
I'll give you money. Put your mouth on.
Yeah, $20 is $20. Yeah. So.
Yeah, he'll do anything for $20.
This let's see. Blah 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 blah. So, where is it? There's this is an interesting question. Do I need to add rel sponsored attribute to my footer links? My company has many different sites, and for each one of them, we added in the site's footer powered by blah, blah, blah text to the main website. Does it count as a sponsored link? Should I add the no follow attribute? Although those are our website's fakes. Any thoughts?
Man, why would you do Google's job for them? Fuck that.
Why would you? Yeah. No. And here's the thing. Why would you say that's sponsored? That's not sponsored. That's what I wanted to point out there, was that's literally like you're the same company. You're not a sponsor for those other websites.
As far as I'm concerned, Google want you to highlight what is sponsored, give it a no follow so that you can clean up their backlink fucking
You just make it easier. They're doing it already. They do that themselves, and they want you to let them know, And there's no reason to give them that if you are doing your stuff correctly. If you're selling links, I might have like sponsored out, and if it's detectable that you're selling like editorials and things like that, you might want to avoid manuals from them. But that's the only case I've ever used that shit, was no follow or anything, was when I needed to remove manuals on my sites where I was selling that. And so. But you're talking about this is something that we will be talking about in September, but it's really important to understand, like, if those websites are supposed to be associated with the main brand, then you absolutely can link and get the benefit of those links and the associations of those websites.
Yeah, our payday loan client, they wanted more traffic or more rankings to like these other sites, and they wanted us to take a look at them. I said, why don't you just link to them from your main site? It gets like how much direct traffic was it getting, or like branded search, like 300,000 a month or something.
Dude, crazy. I don't know. It was insane. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's not the revenues.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so we put a footer link to their other web properties, and lo and behold, they started ranking.
Everything ranks.
Magic.
Right? Like,
yeah.
You do not have to think of that. There's another one I looked at that I was arguing with someone on. It's like one website versus like 5, or one website versus 20 websites based on like certain campaign things. Like, this was a local campaign. Like, should I do one website or 20, or should I keep the 20 websites we have with the GMB listings? Personally, like, it just really depends what you're doing for your campaign to make that decision. But this is entity-based shit. If they know that you are a company and these websites are associated like with those companies, especially in things like e-commerce and local, it starts to make sense sometimes to have those websites linked together and exist. So
if someone asks me if they should do 20 or 1, I'm gonna tell them 21.
So they did. What happened with the link spam update is that they absolutely now can detect who's selling links, who's a directory. Like, instead of like flagging and sending this off to a manual review like they used to, they now are detecting that very well, and that's why they suggested that you do this, because they do. There's some things they're doing that in some cases it makes sense to have those things, but more of it is about just helping them and their algorithm train and their algorithms train around this for the link spam stuff. So yeah, I don't like to give them information personally.
Yeah, no one wants to. But on that note, guys, we want to tell people that you can sign up for nfg2021.com. The landing page is live. You can make sure that you get your ass out to Greensboro. Having been there, not in Greensboro, but I can highly recommend the people there, and even the attendees are insane in terms of making money and giving you tips. It's how many people are going to be able to come to this event?
I think I think the cap out is around 40 or 50, I think, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, really? 40 or 50?
Yeah, we're keeping it smaller just because of the situation. So yeah, we're filling up fast. So
I like smaller events. Well, what I was going to say is the last one was relatively.
The networking's better. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got to pretty much speak to everyone there, and spent a bit of time with the majority of people there. So I found that very, very useful. Not necessarily going to one of these events where there's 1,000 people there, and then you walk off stage and.
Well, the more people. No offense to the people that are included in this, but if you have a huge event like that. You're going to have the cream of the crop that comes to this type of event, or someone that is like right there that wants to be the cream of the crop in their industry. You're going to have those people come to this event, and then the more people you add, it kind of dilutes it further and further and further, and it's hard to find the ballers in the crowd that you can actually team up with, that you can provide value for and receive value back, that you can join hook up with these joint ventures and everything. Like Mike and I, how many people were at that event that we went to?
Maybe 15 or 20.
Yeah, it was. I think I paid like $15,000 for that event.
Yeah, the first one I spoke at was that one.
Yeah,
those tickets were 15 to 25K a seat, and it was like maybe 15 people, I think. But that's a solid event.
20. Yeah,
that event, the thing is cool,
look how much money we made from
people are sitting people are sitting next to someone and they don't know they're sitting next to a fucking billionaire, or they're sitting next to a millionaire, and they never will. It's an interesting dynamic because I know the people that are there, and when the people slip in, there's someone coming from Ireland that's going to slip in, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens, who he makes friends with and shit like this. To see I've seen a lot of millionaires born, dude, at those events, dude. Seriously, it's crazy.
Yeah. So get your ass.
But the interesting thing is going to be that this workshop flow, man, this whole process has come together. The people that are implementing now, they're just I'm seeing people go from a beginner level to an advanced intermediate level. It's that once it clicks, dude, it's pretty sick.
I can't wait to get to intermediate.
I'm going to get there one day too.
Yeah, me too. With your help.
I just want to highlight this one does not cost $15,000 either.
No, it doesn't.
No, it does not. No.
So make sure you do grab whatever little space is left by checking out nfg2021.com. And I'm pretty sure if we can get Chase there to fight Brad, if my foot doesn't allow me to fight him.
The two most hated men in SEO, Chase versus Brad.
Yeah.
The two most hated men in SEO.
I think he's gone, so he can't fight back now.
So yeah, no, I want to. There's a couple people that actually message right now about the event, and I would say yes, go grab that right now and get the workshop stuff. I'll talk to you about this actually in private, Brad. Never mind. Yeah, go do that. Make sure you do that with the workshop, dude. It's important. That's it.
Yep. So check it out, guys, and we will catch you same time next week. See you all later.
Thank you all.